Hey everybody, welcome to Kitchen Talk with Granna. So today we're going to keep this short and sweet. I'm not going to take a whole lot of your time up today, but you guys know the routine before we get started, okay? You know what you got to do. Go ahead, look down there at the bottom of your screen. Go ahead on and get all that down there taken care of. Take care of your business. Get that out the way so we can be done with that. And at the end of the episode, you can come back and give me any reviews or any comments that you might have, okay? So we got that done. Let's go ahead on and get it popping up into the kitchen today, okay? So today, we're just gonna talk a little bit about Black History. You know, this is February, this is Black History Month. So we're just gonna discuss a little bit about Black History. I just have a few little facts I'm gonna throw out there on you guys. And like I said, at the end, you guys can come back and give me any comment, or at the end, if there's anyone, any Black inventor or any Black that you want to talk about that definitely made a difference in this world in the United States, say, hey, go ahead and send me a comment about it. Go ahead and drop me a line about them, okay? Thanks. All right. So first of all, did you guys know that Black History was originally only for 1 week? We only got 1 week of Black History, and that was back in like 1926. And back then it was not called Black History. It was not called African American Week. It wasn't called Black History Week. So I'm gonna let you guys figure out what it was called back then. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. But back in 1926, we had a Black History Week. We only had a week. And Carter Woodson was the man that started that. And then in 1976, they gave us, well, I'm saying gave, it sounds so crazy when I say it that way. But then we got the whole month of February in 1976. So the whole month of February became a month for Black History celebration, okay? So that's a little bit of history of where the Black History Month came into play. But you can go back and Google it and you can read all about it and you will see the official name that it went by and all that. But I'm gonna leave that for you guys to Google, okay? So yeah, just check that out when you get a moment and stuff, okay? And did you guys know that Betty Boo, Miss Betty Boo, and now we see her everywhere, especially when it comes to different types of products. They got her pocketbook, they have her earrings, her necklace, you know, all that. But do you guys know that Betty Boo was a Black woman, okay? Her name, the original person was Esther Jones. Yes, she was a Black woman. She was a jazz singer. And this was back in, I think like 1922. She was a Black jazz singer. So that's where Betty Boo originated from, Miss Esther Jones. Go on, girl. Go ahead on, Miss Betty Boo. Okay? And I know you guys all know Miss Bessie Coleman. Everybody knows Miss Bessie Coleman. That was one of the things that we did read about. I remember reading about when I was in school in the Black history, in the history books. Miss Bessie Coleman was the first Black female pilot. She was the first Black female to get her license to become a pilot. And she flew from like the 1920s all the way up until there was an accident around 1926, a plane accident that, you know, caused her life. But honey, Miss Bessie was doing her thing, honey. She was flying them planes. So, you know, I'm really proud to be a Black woman and to know this is something that the first Black woman did. Okay, so check it out. You can Google her and read more about her story. Okay. Also, did you guys know that Mr. Frederick McKinley Jones, he invented, this was a Black man, because everybody that I'm talking about are Black, African American, okay? But he invented the refrigerator truck. You know, you see all these 18-reelers running around here, and of course they're more modern and they're more up to date. but he was the first black man to invent the refrigerator truck, and he needed that truck for his job to transfer the cold groceries from one grocery store to the next, So he was the first person to do that. So these 18-wheelers, they have to give him a little props for that, okay? So yeah, that was one of the inventions that I read about earlier this week when I was doing a little research, okay? Did you guys know that Alexander Miles, he invented the automatic elevator door? I give him his props for that, but I ain't no elevator person. I am not gonna get on an elevator. The only way I get on the elevator, they got to go past the 10th floor. And then I'm praying. I am praying all the way up and down that elevator. Honey, I try to keep anything no higher than the 6th floor so I can walk them stairs, okay? But you got to give him his props for that, There was so many black African-American that did so much, brought so much, contributed so much to the United States. There's things that African-American invented that we didn't even have ideas that they did, because back then it was so hard for them to get their work patent and to get that credit for that. The ones that was fortunate enough to get it patent and get it credit, hey, my hat's off to them, because there was such a process that they had to go through. And then some of them just did not have the finances to make that happen. So, a lot of these inventors that takes credit, that's not African-American, took those ideas from African-American and probably other races also, and took the credit, and got the credit for that, But, you really, be amazed about some of the things that we as African-American has brought to this world. Some of the things that we've done, and just to go through the process of making it our own, I mean, just getting to the stage, these black people that did make history and are in our history, getting to that stage, the things that their forefathers had to go to so they was able to do what they do. And then for them to go through what they did, for us to be able to do what we do, I mean, there was like over 12.5 million Africans that was shipped all over this world to the trade, to the slave trade, so they could be sold. So, when you go back that far and look at how the Africans was taken out of their home and shipped all over this world into slavery, and they didn't have a choice, or this was just something that happened. I mean, even here in the United States, I remember reading something like it was like over 388,000 Africans that came over here to the United States for trade, to be sold into slavery. Wow, it's just crazy. And then you're not even counting how many Africans lost their life in this process, going through this process, because they was jam-packed on these ships. They had no air ventilation. They was not half fed. They was not given water, anything to just survive, because they didn't care. They treated them like a herd of cows or something. They was just trying to get them across their water to get them to these different places, because slaves was taken over to Brazil and all these different places, from Africa, just to be sold, to make that money. So, even, back in the slavery days when it all began, no one cared about the slaves and what in that process that they was going through. They were just trying to transport them from one place to the next to make that money off of them. So, just, if you get a chance, just go back and read your history. It's so much to read, and it's been a while since I even read some of this stuff, So just, get a chance to do that. Did you know that interracial marriage was banned in the United States from 1664 until 1967, I believe it was. I think it's from 1664 to 1967, it was banned. You was not allowed to be in an interracial marriage, relationship, anything like that, period. You know, now even though also in your history, when you read back, you're gonna read some things, especially when it came to these masters that owned slaves that had an interracial relationship with they slaves every day, every night. But that was not against the law. That was their master. That was their property. They owned these young ladies, these young girls. They owned them so they could do as they wish with them, and they did as they wanted with them. But on the books, it was a law that you was not to be in an interracial relationship. You know, it was illegal. So that's just crazy, and I just don't understand that. But I mean, well, let me back up. I do understand that, because even to this day, there are people that are very much against interracial relationship. You know, like I said, just 30 years ago, if you guys got a chance to go back and look at that Just Mercy movie, you know, just 30 years ago, the young man, Walter McMillan, was having that relationship with the white woman, and her husband found out. So that had a lot to do with him being convicted of a crime that he did not do, because he was in that relationship with that white woman. So there are still some towns and some places, especially in the South, that just does not agree with interracial relationship. Okay. And the only other thing I got to say about that is, it shouldn't matter. Me personally, I don't care what color your skin is. If you treat someone right, you love them, you treat them, you give them the respect that they need, then hey, more power to you, honey. Do what you do. Whatever makes you happy. But as long as you're treating that person right, it shouldn't matter their skin color. But that's just Granna. Okay. So, as you guys go about your day today, just think about, all that I've told you. And if you guys come up with any other thing containing to Black history that you want to drop me a line about, want me to research it, or you want to talk about it, just, send me a review or a comment on it, and we can definitely do that. We got about a week and a half, a little bit over a week and a half left for Black History Month. So we still have a little time that we can discuss some more stuff. And I'm going to be bringing some more stuff to you before the end of this month, okay? All right. So as you go by your day today, make sure, I only need you to do 3 things, okay? Give a smile to everybody you come in contact with, okay? Smile. Doesn't cost you anything. Take a few minutes to give someone an encouraging word if you have time. Hey, if you ask someone how their day going and they just want to get a little something off their chest, let them get it off their chest, because that could make a big difference. That could make the whole difference in the rest of their day. Give them that few minutes to vent a little bit, okay? And just share the love. Those 3 things, smile, share the love, give someone a little time to vent, and an encouraging word. That's all you have to do, okay? So as you go by your day of doing those 3 things, have a great day. Anything you want to talk about, send me a comment on it, and I'm going to talk to you guys next time around. So have a great one. I'll talk to you in a few. Bye.